Hello and welcome everyone to another round of cards, this time for the month of June. And I will guide you through each step of the way. Just a little upfront information. So for those of you who ordered the sets without the phrases on the inside, I will make comments once we go along to show you if there's a phrase stamped inside but you don't like it, how we can switch that up. So this is the card for today that we're gonna do. It's a little birthday part card. And let's get our pieces out of the envelope. And for this card you need either some markers or if you don't have them, just plain, I'm gonna use plain coloring pencils, and we're gonna color in a few of the little elements here. So if you use markers, you are perfectly fine to use them in this project to color these little glasses in. You can use watercolors, you can use regular pencils. If you use watercolors, just make sure you use just a tiny little bit of water so that the black stamped part doesn't smudge or bleed. And if you use markers, you're fine too, because this is an extra piece. So in case when you're using alcohol markers, they usually seep through the paper and you will see on the other side blotches. And since this is an extra piece, it doesn't harm your card. If we would stamp this right on the card front here on the base and you would color them in with markers, then you might see on the inside here all these blobs of color, which is not very pretty. So if you ever plan on using your markers, make sure not to do this directly on your card base. Use it an extra piece of white cardstock or wherever you stamp it on. If you use coloring pencils, you're fine. You can use this directly on the card then. All right, so let's get a little bit of the coloring going. And as you can see, some of the glass is gonna be covered up, which is fine. It's not a big deal, but when you color in, just keep this in mind. And I have this old set of Staedtler coloring pencils. They're really nice quality. So if you invest in coloring pencils, make sure you invest in a nice set. You know, it's worth the money spending. And there's a difference between cheap coloring pencils and better ones. So I'm gonna color in here on this one. What I did was I just used the yellow for the lemons, and then, and you don't push hard, you just color the lemons in lightly in yellow, and then I go back with my orange and just give them a little hint of color, more settle. It's not really, and you don't have to do this, but if you have a darker yellow, you can use a darker yellow, but I used my orange here. And if you want to, you can go back with the yellow, but I think I'm fine with these. And then the leaves, I'm just coloring in a little bit of green. Actually, I'm gonna use the brighter green here. There we are. Okay, and there's not much shading going on or anything in this case. I mean, you could use, if you have a darker green, you can go a little bit on the bottom here, but you can also use this one and just go over it again and apply more color to it. But it's so tiny, nobody will see. Okay, and in between, we just have a little dotted line. So let's put this one in while we're at it. faux stitching. And this part is done. Now to the glasses. So let's start with this one here. And I'm gonna mix it up. I know this one here is a different color, but you do whatever you want to do. So let's start with the orange here a little bit. It's like a tequila sunrise. And when you color, don't make just a straight line. I mean, you could, but since it's a glass and it's see-through, you want to make like an oval shape here, and that indicates that there is liquid in there. And this just looks more real. Okay, let's add a little bit more orange here. And then we finish it up with yellow. And I don't do anything to the glass. You could if you wanted to. We can give the ice cubes a little hint of blue. And there you have it. Now this is a glass of wine. And I have a nice, I do the same thing here. So let's say this one is pretty full. So I make like an oval. And then we can color in the rest of the way. And you don't want to press too hard, because in this case it's not watercolors, it's regular pencil, so you will see the streaks of color that you put on if you push too hard. And I always like to go lighter and then just go over and over again to smooth out the edges and lines, or add a different color on top. So that red wine is a little bit too pinkish. So I'm gonna come in here with a little shade of purple. And again, not pushing too hard. And like I said, most of them is going to be covered up anyway, so. And maybe we need another red here. And that is fine. For the stems, so my glassware, the stems have color, the glasses are clear, and you can do this any way you want. You can do them each in different colors. Okay. Next one. This one's gonna be blue. And this is just to make them look a little bit more. I mean, you could leave them black and white, you know, as a contrast, but I think this is so much nicer if the image has a little bit color. And again, the orange, a little bit here, and this one is done. Now let's do our little olives here. So I guess these are martinis. Now we have a nice olive green color, and I don't really have another green that fits that this olive green. So to get a little bit more shade on my olives, I'm just gonna use a gray. And just slightly go over the bottom or the side of each of these. And I know this is hard to see maybe on camera, but it just gives it a little more 3D. And then I can go back with my greens. All right, now let's put the martini in here. And usually that's more like a clear liquid, but it's kind of hard to color clear, so I'm just giving it a light grayish look, so it looks like there's something in the glass. Okay, and then we have another drink here. And this one's gonna be orange. And to shade, give it a little bit more dimension, I'm gonna use a little bit of this red here. And voila. That little umbrella here. It's a couple colors. And I think we're almost done. This is mostly the cover up at the end anyway, but at least so everything has something in it. Okay. Oh, and then in the inside, there's this little umbrella again. And here too, we're just gonna give it a little bit of color. And there you have it. So now for the assembly. We're gonna start with the bottom piece. So when you assemble your cards, make sure that the stamp side is in the correct direction. Nothing worse than when you put your card together, you realize that the inside phrase is upside down. There are fixes to that, but why let it get that far? So just make sure it's the right way around. And then this goes flush to the bottom on your card, and I see this one here is not folded correctly, which is not a big deal. Okay. So let's quick try and fold just a little bit. If this ever happens, you can just fold it, try to fold it again so they're nice and flush on the bottom, and if not, you just use your scissors at the end and cut off a little piece. Okay. Next, in my sample card, I put the glitter paper first and then the black paper. You can reverse it if you feel like this. Let's reverse it. It looks better, or you like that better. That's up to you. There's no right or wrong way. Let's put, in this case, the black one first. And we put our silver one on top. Okay. Then we put our glasses on here, and you'll leave like a 1/4 inch, a little bit over a 1/4 inch on the bottom. All right. Now for so you have two pieces here for the little phrase. It goes on top, and the card goes like so. So we can do it this way with the black on the top and the extra strip on the bottom, but in my sample card I have done it this way, and I think we keep it that way. So what you want to do first is I just put adhesive on this piece, and this is later going to raise, and then I adhere it first to my black paper, and then I take the other strip and just line it up, and there you have it. Now this one will be raised, so we need a few foam dots, and I'm still emptying out my stash, so now we can put this maybe here. Let's put it over here. All right. Now we have almost everything done. So I did a couple full stitching here, and I did this after the fact. So I just went along here. And then I did the second one that just kind of like gives this edge here something to stand off so it doesn't blend in too much. All right, and that's the outside. And for the inside, I just used a plain simple pencil and did some swirls. So we just went down, little swirly, down again, little swirly. And you can do anything, you don't have to do swirls, whatever you want to do. And we have one more here. And card number 1 is finished. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, and I think this stem set is still available, if I remember right. I will link the number at the end of the video so you can check it out. And right now, Close to My Heart actually has a Stemtacular it's called. So most of the stems and stamp and die sets are actually on sale between 30 and 50%. So if you want to take advantage of that, have a look. Link's going to be below, and just see what sets are still available. All right, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you to the next one. Thanks. Bye bye.